Scientists just found DNA evidence that proves Irish people might have the highest concentration of redheads in the world, not because of Vikings or Celts, but because of a genetic mutation that happened during the Ice Age as a survival adaptation. And it's the same gene that makes Irish people more resistant to certain diseases, but also more sensitive to pain. Here's what makes zero sense. Only 2% of the world's population has red hair, but 10% of Irish people are redheads, and in some parts of Ireland it's up to 20%. How did one small island end up with half the world's redheads? The answer is in a gene called MC1R, and Irish people have a specific variant of it that exists almost nowhere else on Earth. Scientists thought red hair came from Vikings mixing with Irish populations in the 800s, but DNA testing proved that's completely wrong. The MC1R mutation in Irish people is way older, dating back at least 10,000 years to when the first people arrived in Ireland after the Ice Age. Here's the theory that changes everything. Red hair, pale skin, and freckles weren't random. They were evolutionary advantages in Ireland's specific environment. Ireland has some of the lowest UV sunlight in Europe, cloudy and rainy most of the year, which means people needed to absorb as much vitamin D from weak sunlight as possible. Pale skin with less melanin allows more UV absorption, and the MC1R gene that causes red hair is linked to this pale skin adaptation. So Irish redheads are literally Ice Age survivors whose bodies adapted to Ireland's dark, cloudy climate over thousands of years. But here's the trade-off that redheads know too well. The same MC1R mutation that helped ancestors survive also makes modern redheads more sensitive to pain, need more anesthesia during surgery, bruise more easily, and react differently to temperature. Studies show redheads need about 20% more anesthesia than other people, and dentists have known for years that redheads are harder to numb. The gene that saved their ancestors in the Ice Age now makes doctor visits more painful. Even weirder, the MC1R gene is recessive, which means both parents have to carry it for a child to have red hair, and two brown-haired Irish people can have a red-headed child if they both carry the hidden gene, which happens constantly in Ireland because the gene is so common in the population. This is why Irish families will have one red-headed kid out of nowhere, and DNA tests reveal that up to 40% of Irish people carry the recessive red hair gene, even if they're not redheads themselves. Here's the part that's kind of sad. Red hair is disappearing globally because it's recessive and requires both parents to have the gene. Scientists predict that as populations mix,